Nabil from Auto Repair Champs, folks. How you guys doing? I've got a 2012 Mazda CX-9. That's got the 3.7 engine, and I believe that's the same engine that's on some of the Fords. I believe Ford Edge is one of them. We've got this car with a mysterious leak, a coolant leak. Customer came in and said, you know, I put coolant and the coolant just keeps draining, and I don't know where it's leaking from. It's overheating once that coolant is fully drained, and then I have to pour more, and then it takes a few days, and I can't tell where the leak is. And anyways, long story short, he brought it in. As you can see, we got some coolant here. So at first I said, hey, you know, before I looked at it, I said it's possible that it could be a water pump or some kind of hose or some kind of radiator problem or something. When I lifted the car up, started looking at where the water pump is here, it's pretty dry. It's absolutely dry, no problem. As you guys can see, on this car, I believe the water pump is right behind the timing belt. So you're gonna have to do pretty much a timing belt chain job to get to the water pump on the right side of the vehicle. And then I noticed a few drops. This was the cover for the transmission here, and it was covered. And I pulled this out, and I noticed a little bit of coolant here, and then it almost feels like it's coming from the inside. It's being kind of hard to track down where it's coming from. But then I said, okay, that's fine. Is it wet inside? It is a little bit. So it feels like it's coming from the inside, and then you see in these drips, as you guys can see right there. And then it just can't be coming from the inside of the transmission. I mean, coolant is not an inside of the transmission. So then I started looking around it, and it's pretty dry too. I was like, okay, well, if it's coming from the top, how come around this? Like, you know, this is the line where it separates the transmission, and this is the engine. Like, this is dry too. And then this is dry too. Where the heck is this coming from? How come is it coming from the inside? And then I know for a fact that thermostat is right above this area. So I'm like, you know what? Let's actually look at the top of the vehicle and see if we can notice any leak. And then actually before I did that, I took my mirror, just a mirror like this, and I was like, you know what? Let's see if I can put my mirror, just stretch my mirror, and then see if I can put my mirror up there and see if I can see any leaks. And you know what? I'm not seeing anything. It's pretty dry too. I'm like, oh boy, I don't know what to do now. So at this point, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually bring the car down, and we're gonna start moving some of the air intake and the air filter and stuff, and start looking from the top to see if we notice any leaks that's coming from the thermostat gasket, or maybe the thermostat, because that's the only thing I can think of that could be possibly leaking in this area. It just can't be a hose. All the hoses for the radiator is right here on up front. I'm not seeing anything here beside that thermostat right above, but it almost feels like it's coming from the inside, which is not. So let's bring it down and see what we can find. So we brought the car down, and I'll show you. We need to start removing things before we come to the bottom of this. So this air intakes, this box needs to come out. to figure out what's going on. So there's a hose here that we need to remove, and there's this sensor with a safety clip. This is the mass airflow sensor, also needs to come out. This looks like it's size 10. Or actually we could use Phillips on that as well. So this box should come out now. Alright. So we're gonna sit this on the floor for a minute. And then there is what appears to be one more right there. Let's get my size 10. This is kind of bad spot too. Sometimes I don't understand some people how they would put the screw or the nut, the screw from the other side where it's really hard to reach. They could have just put it on this side where it's easier to reach from this side. They just, sometimes I just don't understand. Alright, so this should come out now. Oh, maybe a little more. Let's make sure nothing is attached to it. We got this hose here, but this shouldn't be stopping us. Alright, there you go. Now we can just move this out of the way, just like that. And now let's see what we can find. So this is the thermostat right here. This is where goes the thermostat, right underneath in this housing. This whole housing, the thermostat housing, it's got a couple of hoses coming from the back, and then this one goes to the front of the top of the radiator, and then this goes to the bottom of the radiator. Surprisingly, I'm not seeing any leaks coming from the housing. So now things are escalating to be a bigger problem than what we thought. Alright, so the one thing that I was able to see, I saw a pile of coolant is right underneath this, and then I saw another pile right there. See, let me just see if I can zoom in. See if I can zoom in here, get some light first. Right there. So there's this pile of coolant, and then there's one more that's really hard to see. See if I can spot that. let's see, where did that go? No, it's gonna be right there. Right there. That's another spot. So the fact that there is, let me zoom out so you know where I was. So there is one spot there, one spot here. That tells me, well, the water pump is right there. The water pump is located right there. That tells me possibility there is some kind of, oh, I forgot to mention, the oil and coolant are not mixing together, so that's a good sign. Okay, so that's not going to be a problem here. That tells me there is possibly a gasket problem with the coolant, with the pipes down there that's going into the water pump. I have not verified that yet, but I'm just saying possibly. So I'm gonna just keep digging here until we find out what's going on. I may need to start removing some stuff here and see if I can track down that pile of coolant there and see where is it coming from. But I'm not seeing any leaks from the housing of the thermostat. The leak is coming from down there. I believe the leak is coming from down there and it's dripping from underneath the intake, and it's leaking from the middle. But I'm gonna just keep digging here until we find out. So guys, we pulled this air intake box out. We pulled it out. If you want to do things right and you want to save yourself some hassle and time, you want to start removing some stuff so you have better visibility to things. We removed the battery, and now we're gonna remove this cover here. It's being held with a 3 size 10, and let's go ahead and get that removed. There's 3 of them. Sit right there for now. And let's see, this is being, oh, okay, so this is holding hose. Okay, so we gotta remove those as well. That's that. And this is this. Okay. There you go. Alright, now we have better visibility to things, and let's see what's inside there. Okay, further investigation here on the situation. Looking down here with my flashlight, I'm seeing the coolant inside there. See where you guys see this pipe right here? This pipe right there. This pipe right there. That's coming from the thermostat housing. Goes all the way. See this pipe right there? Let's see here. It goes all the way down there. See, it goes to the passenger side, and then it goes down a little bit, and then it goes to the driver's side again. So it's got kind of got like an S shape right there. So that S shape that we're talking about is going into the water pump right there. Let's see if I can. This is what I'm talking about right there. And then it's going to the water pump. So I'm suspecting there's some kind of gasket problem here somewhere. So let's investigate a little more further. Okay, I think we got an answer for you guys. So after further investigation, thinking it might have been thermostat failure or gasket or something on this area, it was not. And then after we traced it, we figured it might be this pipe that's running the inlet, or whatever some people call it, outlet, that's coming from the water pump area to the thermostat, thinking that was the pipe. It was not. But now when we track this down, see that leak right there? There is a little hole that this water is leaking from. Okay, on the left. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. See, on the left, there's like a little hole that's leaking, and that's coming from the water pump. If we try to clean that with a brake cleaner, make sure you don't do that when the engine is hot, but if you clean it or wipe it off, it will start filling up. And it's coming from, let me see if I can point my finger at what I think that hole is. That hole is right there, and it's dripping right this way. It's really hard to see, but that's coming from the water pump. Anyways guys, that's where the leak is. It's a water pump job, and that's all I wanted to show you. Thanks for watching.